Overprime versus Fault. What are our thoughts and opinions? Uh, it didn't work. Fuck. Sorry. Uh, uh, and we
Rip.
talked about combat griefing. We talked about skill-based matchmaking, and then we took a little 10 minute, and then we came back for Act Two, and we're talking about the next three heroes kits. We've pretty much went over it twice now, and then about the next three heroes, which are confirmed: Howitzer, Gadget, and Kalari. We just don't know which order it's going to be in. We don't know if it's Kalari next or Howitzer. I'm pretty sure it's Howitzer next, but I can't confirm that. And yeah, I know we got a few extra topics, and who want to move on to those. And we got half an hour. Okay. Okay, so let's do that. So next thing we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about ranked, I think. We have it there as an extra topic. And I want to get into the idea of ranked and why it should or should not be in EA. Uh, and we're not talking like day one EA because I don't think it's going to be there, but why it should be there, I don't know, day 50. Um, and what should there be some kind of segregation when it comes to ranked? What I mean by that is, should a controller player be able to play a PC player in ranked? Or let's say hypothetically this game was on console at this very second console, should they be able to play with a PC player? So, and while that's going on, I'm just gonna throw on some old gameplay from Alpha 3 weekend that I recorded. So, Steve, what do you think about the idea of ranks? So, we'll just go back to Paragon, for example. I remember them
I
saying,
think we should have ranked so that we can get the sweaties out of my free games.
you think so?
Because goddamn, sometimes I just want to play a casual ass game. Sometimes I want to go full hamstring.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest problem with Paragon was I felt like I didn't have that. You know what I mean? I felt like I had to be always strapping, and if I
You know,
wasn't,
you know
someone
what it
was just
felt like
yelling.
to me playing Paragon is because there was that like internal matchmaking system which they did have, and like people used to use that as elo, and they people did that because number one they didn't ever actually come up with ranked, and number two, I felt like I had to be on a Smurf account if I wanted to just play casual because anytime I tried to play on like Stranger and we were just goofing off and letting ourselves lose every game, it was always super serious and people would be like, no, choose Sev or I'm dodging kind of thing, and I just don't want that. I think
Yeah.
yeah. But the only problem with that though is like I don't know realistically what Strange Matters player base is. They say 10,000, but uh I think it's a bit less than that. Um because just because I had 10,000 keys doesn't mean I had 10,000 players kind of thing. You know what I mean? And you don't want to create 20-minute or 10-minute queue times, we'll say. But I want to be able to play ranked. I want to be a sweaty. I don't want to be in casual. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it also really turns off care. It also really turns off new players. Like if you're new to a MOBA, you don't want to run into competitive players. Like, oh well, you still could, I guess, but you don't want to. You don't want to just lose and get your shit pushed in because then no one wants to play a MOBA ever. Never, ever, ever. It'll like no. What do you think, Steve? If you're there.
Well, like, hmm, just had a bit of a brain fart there.
So, what do you think is the benefits to having a ranked play?
Well, like, I think it's a better place for people to like, I guess, like hone their skills around people that are also taking the game particularly serious. Um, because you can only get to certain high ranks in a ranked mode after you've played a certain amount of time. So
Hmm.
it creates a better streamlined experience, and it allows for more casual players to experiment in game modes that maybe other people don't have to take as serious. Because here's the thing, sometimes like I'd be really taking it serious and like, yo, I really want us to play well, and some people would just be I don't know, like taking Decker in the jungle, you know what I mean, like crit
Hmm.
Decker, and I'm just like, guys, like, stop.
Yeah, I
You
think
know what
people
I
are always
mean?
going to do that though. Like you're always going to see people that want to
But
experiment.
like, here's now you're talking to the king of experimenting, but I feel better experimenting in a casual game and then bringing that over to a more ranked mode,
Hmm.
but like working out the kinks and the that kind of stuff
Yeah, I,
is
I
very
agree
helpful.
with you. There's always going to be some people that are always going to jump in ranked and be like, uh, I'm jungling with Decker
Yeah.
as damage Decker, and they're going to go okay, and we're going to go, oh, okay, yeah, you go right ahead. I hope you're nasty, but it's
Yeah.
gonna worry you, right? Um, but yeah, for the most part, I think you're right. Especially where like, especially like I just look at it when I was a new Paragon player. Like I literally played the game, got smoked, stopped playing, gave it another shot because Steve begged me to give it another shot. And then I loved it. And I'm not just talking I took another shot. Like I did my research. I started watching League of Legends. I was like, what is this 3 lane thing? What is the jungle? I was like, what is this raptor thing? Like and I was just and I remember watching it and learning about it and then I was like, "Oh, now I get it. Now I get it." You know what I mean? And then I came back and then I gave it another shot. But some people aren't going to put in that research and by no fault of their own should they have to and they should just be able to jump in a game and have an enjoyable experience cuz you need to be able to bring in new players or the game's never going to grow. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Same thing as you need to retain your
And I
players,
guess,
but
and like the benefit of having a ranked mode is the exact same as the benefit you get from having like a dedicated training mode or
mhm,
academy mode or something like that, where it's actually teaching people MOBA tips and MOBA tricks and rules and ward placement, pushing, split pushing,
mhm,
um, uh, team fights, and CC, and what all these terms mean, and encourage people to actually use them, um, and put faith in the idea of actually helping people get good at a game instead of just
mhm.
10 chickens with their heads cut
Yeah.
off.
And
Just like,
yeah, and it's one of those things too. Let's say they didn't have like it's not like League. The first game you play, you're allowed to play ranked in fall. Like then they would immediately just put you at like a low MMR. So then, because they assume you're uh, newer to the game, if you're on a new account, right? You know what I mean?
yeah,
And like so that's where like let's say a new player, that's what they're really getting into. They watch competitive League of Legends and they're like, hey, I want to try competitive Falto. So maybe they can do it that way. I still think you should have to play a bit of casual before you go hopping into ranked. Um, but yeah, like there is also that option. And the reason I put this in like even as a topic is because I don't know where it was, uh, but someone that is directly and I truly don't remember someone who's directly involved with default development said no, ranked play is stupid in early access, and they never elaborated on it. And like of course I asked them why, and that was just kind of the end of the discussion. And so I just wanted to see like what uh the community's idea was and why, because like I understand like if we're talking about player base reasons, okay, I understand, I'll suck it up, move on. I'll be bitter about it, but I'll move on and I'll create my own agora.gg if that's what I got to do. I'll make it happen. You know what I mean? um
yeah,
as long as I have an internal matchmaking system. But if they're I just uh I don't understand why it would be a bad idea except for the player base. And like one way to grow a player base is to have ranked. Like ranked attracts a lot of people, or esports attracts a lot of people, and that has been proven over the year. And if like uh, esports alone this year was worth 1.5 billion or something. I think I'm under guessing it, and the total amount was 150 billion dollars. So
Yeah.
it's just for all video games, casual players, mobile games included. So I just yeah, I just think I would really personally like to see it uh, because
I guess I can understand why not having it in early access is an interesting idea because, like, I mean, the purpose of early access, I guess, is like what? Like, this is like a screening of the game before it fully comes out. And I
hmm
guess, like, if you at least have ranked mode when the game fully comes out, that makes more sense to me.
hmm
Um, but like if you're putting all that time and energy and focus into a ranked system for a game that it's not 100% in the final stage yet,
yeah
I can understand how that might be pulling away
yeah.
from the overall focus.
But I also think yeah,
Um,
I say that, but like I understand your point, but I just look at it other ways. Like Fortnite didn't have a ranked mode, for example, when it first came out, right? And it was still considered beta. But like it wasn't long before websites like Game Battles, Checkmate Gaming, and UMG Gaming were having daily tournaments on Fortnite. So in fact, what it ended up being is that the company Epic Games ended up having a loss of income because they weren't creating their own ranked playlist and own tournament thing. And that is like, and the best example is, and I got a Call of Duty background, is Call of Duty. This year they literally started the Call of Duty League, like to have like real franchise things. But before that, it was Major League Gaming did all of it, a third party company. That's literally what they were. And a strange matter, or not strange matter, Activision realized, wow, there's a lot of money in esports. Well, we're gonna take all the money, and like MLG doesn't exist anymore, like they did, because Activision bought them and laid them all off. For anyone that knows anything about that, and because they realized like there's a lot of money in this, so well, and so without not putting in a ranked play and not hosting these tournaments themselves was actually just losing their income, if that made any sense. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And it also like MLG was a very trusted company. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But when Checkmate Gaming first came out, which is just another third party website, which people use all the time, every day still, um, that's not as trusted because you see some people that are like, look, man, I haven't gotten my $200 yet. It's been 6 months. You know what I mean? Like I won the tournament, give it to me. So it also eliminates that lack of trust because, uh, you know what I mean? And if you're really trying to monopolize and monetize something, it's just shown that it's better. And and besides Call of Duty, the best example is League of Legends itself. First off, a MOBA genre is way different than Call of Duty or first-person shooter genre is,
Yeah.
where MOBAs are inherently competitive right from the get-go. And whether Strange Matter likes it or not, people are going to take it competitively. Like I know I am. Maybe
Yeah.
not at first. Give me like a week, and then I probably will. But I just know that it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? And that people are
Hmm.
gonna people someone somewhere will make a community thing happen or something like that. So I just think with having a rank mode, you're only enabling people to do what they want to do. You're not disabling them.
Yeah. I guess I guess it's just like how many people are going to be playing during early access, I think, is the biggest question.
Well, if you just go off the Indiegogo alone, you should see 5,000.
And like, yeah, I
And
guess
that's
do you
like
want to split that between a casual
players.
mode and a ranked mode?
Yeah. Hmm. I think they're gonna. I
Kind of
think
might.
yeah. That's where. So like if we're lowballing it, we'll say 5,000 players per week, right?
Yeah.
Not per day, per week. And yeah, that maybe that could be a problem, I guess, when you look at it
I
that
don't
way.
know. I guess it's just my main thought.
Yeah, but I don't have numbers. Like I can't tell you how much they're gonna do, and I know that unless they gave them more than 10,000 keys and like I'm missing something, which I think I am. Like to be honest, some telling me that I am missing something, but I'm not entirely sure how they distributed those 10,000 keys for the alpha, and like that's all I really have to go off of. Um, oh, excuse me.
You got that Rona?
No, I definitely don't got the Rona. I just gotta go outside to get that. Jesus, this has been a rough time. Anywho, uh, yeah, yeah. I just think I lost my train of thought now. Now that you said that, where was I? What was I saying?
We were talking about
10,000 keys.
Yeah,
yeah.
something tells me that they didn't have 10,000 players. We were talking about Verona. Uh, um, yeah, something tells me that they didn't have 10,000 players during those 4 days. Like different players, unique players during those 4 days of the alpha weekend, even though they had 10,000 keys. Because like I can tell you right up front, I know I had three of those keys. Like I know I had three of the 10,000. You know what I mean?
And I didn't get one.
You didn't have a fucking PC.
I, bro, what do you think I'm doing this on?
Yo, look, listen. We're talking in
This
March.
is an expensive laptop.
Yeah. Um. But yeah. So I know I had that. So Sharona 19. Damn canola 19. Yeah. Yeah. So I know that's a thing. What do you guys think, Kenny, Steve? I'm not. Who else is in the chat? Because I'm not really looking at it. Do you guys
I'm
have an
pretty
opinion on
much
this?
agree with you.
Yeah.
He pretty much summed it up really well.
Okay. And Steve's already said his point.
True.
Sharona, age 19. Um, yeah. So, what is the next point?